Hey, Pastor Dave here, bringing you a message about humility. You know, over my shoulder here, we got a lot of work going on in downtown Cramerton here, and I know it's going to look great, but you know, it doesn't look too good right now, does it? We got bricks and mud and things like that, and that can be sort of an analogy about what it takes for us to grow and to become, in many ways, new people. Sometimes it doesn't look so good at first, okay? And that really leads into our sermon for this week, or my thought for today. It comes from the 13th chapter of John, and it's where Jesus, it's often called the foot washing text, John 13, where Jesus washes the disciples' feet. A few years ago, for several years, I would go to and during Christmas and ring the bell for the Salvation Army. I really felt like that is something that is needed, and it felt good to be able to help out in that way. But one day I got sort of an uncomfortable picture of myself there. During the time I was there, I had several conversations with people, and then I realized that they thought that I was a person who used the Salvation Army services. And sometimes, unfortunately, now we have to go out and get people and hire them, or the people that use the services, or sometimes do the ringing of the bells. And it sort of took me back. I'm not a person who needs the Salvation Army. I'm here to help the Salvation Army. And then I realized I worried a whole lot about what these people that I had never seen before, would never see again, what they thought about me. And it was sort of a stark realization on how I perceived myself. And I think that's what happens to the disciples also in this passage here in John chapter 13. I'm going to sum it up a little bit. Jesus comes in to the disciples, he takes off his clothes, basically puts on a towel, and then begins to wash their feet. And they are aghast, because washing someone's feet in Jesus' time was the role of a servant. Because, you know, everybody wore sandals and or went barefoot, and they walked in dusty roads, and there was all kinds of stuff in the road, and it was dirty and nasty. So washing feet was reserved for servants. In fact, Jewish law or Jewish tradition said a Jew did not have to be forced to wash the feet of his master. You had to use a pagan or a Gentile. The only other one that was forced Jewish person was the wife of a Jewish man. So it exemplified submission. So Jesus doing this is an act of service that sort of blows the disciples away. And Jesus says, as he's doing this, Simon Peter said, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" And Jesus says, "No. Yes, I am. You don't understand what I'm doing, but later you'll understand." And then Peter says, "No, you shall never wash my feet." And we get a sense here of what a shocking thing that was. And I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think about humility. What is Christian humility? Christian humility that Jesus is exemplifying here is, one, it's not that you're a terrible person, you're a worm. That one, you are loved by God. You're like a sheep that's lost. You're like a coin that's lost. You're like a son that comes home. You're loved by God so much that you're willing to serve him and serve others. And Jesus, his point in this text, and I think he really sums it all up in verse 17. If you have your Bibles, go look at it, read verses all the way through to 17. And he says, if you are a servant, if you do what I'm doing, you will be blessed. So what he's saying is, Christian humility brings blessing. It's not just to show how tough you are that you can go out and serve people. It's going to bring you blessing. And we're going to find out a little bit more about what those kind of blessings look like. So listen, remember, Christian service brings humility. God bless you, and I sure hope to see you soon.